University Health Board. Diolch yn fawr pawb yn dod. Welcome to everybody who's also joining online this afternoon and everybody else in person. We only have one apology, and that's Eleanor Marks, who is the Vice Chair. Eleanor is away on leave at this moment in time. Welcome to James, Sharon and Mark to their first Hywel AGM, the first of many, we hope. And also to our international nurses who haven't joined us yet, but are hot-footing it across from the St David's Park site to here. I'm also aware that this is Delith's last AGM, and as the chair of the Charitable Funds Committee, Delith's tenure as an independent member will be coming to an end in March next year. We'll have lots of opportunity before then to celebrate her departure, or celebrate the great contribution she's made to the Health Board, not her departure, between now and then, and to hear about her contribution. We have a full agenda this afternoon, so I'd like to invite you to sit back and enjoy and think of the questions you might want to ask to our presenters a little later on. With that, I'd like to invite Delith to present the Hywel University Charities report for 23-24. Thank you, Delith.
Diolch yn fawr, Neil. I don't know how to take that, really, about it being my last swan song. As it says up there on the screen, it's been a privilege for me to be the chair of the charity. It's one of the defining moments of my career, to be honest, because I am blown away by the public's real love for the NHS, love for Hywel Dda, and love for the charity. And I'm also blown away by the very different and myriad ways that our supporters raise the money for our charity. I've got a video because you don't want to hear me speaking too much, but I'd just like to remind the audience that the donations that we do receive are spent on patients, families, our service users, and our community settings. The donations are spent on enhancing our services over and beyond what the NHS funding allows. And we'll see a few examples of what that money is spent on. It's also spent on additional patient comforts that we in the NHS cannot provide. So, I know I've got an able assistant with her video button, and dim ond gweud, really, I pob un sy'n byw yn Ceredigion, Sir Gar a Sir Benfro, diolch ofnadw i chi gyd am rhoi eich rhoddiad i ni fel elusen. Mae fe'n meddwl y byd, mae fe'n meddwl y byd. So, diolch yn dwlpe am eich gyfraniad chi, a nawr i'r film show, and I'm sorry, I haven't got any popcorn. Diolch. Diolch yn fawr I chi. And as you noticed on one screen there, I did the zipline challenge for Hywel Dda. So the next chair of Hywel Dda Charities, I look forward to seeing what the team have got in store for you next time. It was wonderful. Right, diolch yn fawr I chi. Sharon, I'd like to hand over to you. Diolch.
So, prynawn da, diolch yn fawr. Sharon Daniel ydw I. I'm Sharon Daniel. I'm the Interim Director of Nursing, Quality Safety and Patient Experience. So, diolch am y cyfle I gyflwyno'r adroddiad yma heddi. Thank you so much for the opportunity to present this report today. This is our first annual report in line with the Health and Social Care Quality and Engagement Wales Act. So it covers the period April 2023 to March 2024. This report is intended for the population as well as our board, and it gives us the opportunity to share with you how we are fulfilling our duties under the Act. If we go on to the slide 2, it talks about the two main duties under the Act that the Health Board has to consider. And this is the duty of quality and the duty of candour. So in terms of the duty of candour, this is more than just meeting service standards. It's a system-wide way of working. And despite significant progress to improve quality of health services, there remains significant challenges and changes that we have to make to achieve better outcomes for our patients and population across the Health Board. In terms of the duty of candour, the key intention of the duty of candour is to promote a culture of openness, learning and improvement as well. So the Act also aims to amplify the voice through the creation of llais, which is the Welsh word for voice, which is an all-Wales citizens' body for health and social care. So if we go on to slide 3. So if we start with the duty of candour, which in the report is online, and it looks like that. But if you went to page 4 to 8 of the report, you will see more detail about how we are fulfilling our duty under the duty of candour. So the duty of candour applies if the care that we provide has or may have contributed to unexpected or unintended, moderate, severe harm or death. So under the duty, our goal is to create a culture of trust and openness so that we can feel confident in the care that we are providing, that you receive from us. So the duty of candour statutory guidance 2023 prescribes the actions that we have to take to support us in our processes, and it supports the putting things right process, which is the NHS concerns, complaints and redress arrangements. Also, the report details the systems and processes that we have been implementing to support the implementation of this duty. So you will note from the report, if you go on to slide 4, that we have had, during the first year, the duty was triggered on 51 occasions. So there were 51 patient safety incidents across the Health Board, and the details of these are included within the report. So to date, of all the patient safety incidents reported in the last year, 1% triggered the duty of candour. Welcome. We've been keeping you in work. Okay, so of those that triggered the duty, we've tried to theme the main incidents, and they are listed in the report. But they are namely slips, trips and falls. They are pressure damage that has developed or has worsened while receiving health care, and also the treatment and procedures issues as well have come through as part of the themes. So we've also, in the report, tried to identify the learning outcomes as well, and we've listed those, and we've determined that many of them are related to communication, documentation and assessment as well. So we've also, as I said, referenced the concerns management process and provided an example of the patient experience report that went to board in July of this year, so you'll be able to get a lot of detail from that patient experience report. And we've also provided a summary of the Public Service Ombudsman Wales final investigation report as well, together with our responses to those recommendations. If I move on to slide 5 and on to the duty of quality. So in terms of the quality, we have to apply the concept of quality across all our services to drive better quality decision making. And I've mentioned on a number of occasions today, but I'll mention it for the first time here, the domains of quality are described as the acronym of STEEP, which is safe, timely, effective, efficient, equitable and person-centred. And the duty of quality includes a requirement for us to publish information about the quality of the services that we provide or commission. So from page 12 to page 21 of the report, there are numerous examples there of improvement projects that we have delivered during the year. So I'm going to take one example if we go on to slide 6. I'm going to take one example and I'm going to use our Tylee Jones family to try and talk us through how we cross-reference against those domains of quality. So this case study describes the journey of a 78-year-old Mary Jones through the healthcare system of Ceredigion and how we've applied the duty in this case. So the slide indicates that Mary is 78 years of age. She lives at home with a husband of 50 years. She's a retired teacher and is a former president of the Women's Institute, of which she still attends. She loves cooking, especially baking cakes. But in recent months, Mary has developed mild dementia and has become increasingly frail. She's becoming more confused and has often been found wandering. So unfortunately, she's become unwell at home over the last few days and her husband has called an ambulance. So the paramedics make an initial assessment and decide to take Mary to A&E in Bronglais. Once Mary arrives at the hospital, the nursing team take handover from the ambulance team. And at that time, they take her observations. They record her temperature, her pulse, and her blood pressure. And they calculate a new score, a national early warning score of 4. She has a temperature of 38.2 at this time. So if we go on to the next slide. So the new score, if it's higher than 3, and the temperature is 38, it triggers the commencement of a fluid balance chart, which was started immediately. So under the domains of quality, I've taken the first S, was safe. So the staff at the time correctly identified the triggers and they commenced the fluid balance chart, but also is timely as well, so that the chart was started as soon as it was appropriate. Now the investigations have suggested that Mary has not been drinking enough at home due to becoming confused and forgetful. So they decide to start intravenous fluids, which is an additional trigger for a fluid balance chart. So she's monitored closely over the next 24 hours with the help of an accurate fluid balance chart. The team are able to determine that because of her mild dementia, she has become dehydrated over a period of days because she's forgotten to drink fluids, and which has caused a urinary tract infection. So under the duty of quality, under the effective domain, the fluid chart was used effectively to help diagnose the urinary tract infection. So by treating Mary with IV antibiotics and rehydrating her, she was able to go home to her husband after 48 hours. So again, going back to the domains of quality, in terms of equitable, Mary was able to access her local acute hospital, she was able to have patient-focused care, and she was able to have a safe discharge back to her own home without an extended stay in hospital. And then to the final domain then, in terms of the patient-centred, Mary received the right care in the right place first time, supporting her unique needs. And the clinicians were able to get the information provided by appropriate diagnostic tools to make a diagnosis. So that's just one example of how the work that's been delivered within the Health Board and what that's included within the report has been aligned to the duty of quality. So I will let you download the report, have a read of it, and thank you for listening. And to learn more about what we've been achieving during the past year and raise standards with the Act and the duties of the Act, then please go to our web pages. Okay, diolch yn fawr, thank you very much, and I shall now hand over to Mr. Hugh Thomas.
Diolch Sharon. Pnawn da bawb, diolch yn fawr i ti Sharon am dy enerchiad. So for those who are following online, I believe that there's a globe button about there maybe that you might need to click in order to receive the feed in English. And for those in here, I hope the headsets are working if you want to follow in English. Diolch. Hugh Thomas I fi yw cyfarwyddwr cyllid bwrdd iechyd. Ymlaen i'r nesa. Mae'n fraint cael bod mae draddodi'r trosolwg ariannol a chyflwyno'r adroddiad ariannol I chi unwaith eto. A fi'n diolchgar iawn cael cyfle I wneud hynny yn y Gymraeg. Mae wedi bod yn bach o draddodiad I fi bellach cael wneud hynny yn flynyddol yn y Gymraeg. Diolch I ti Alwena am galluogi hynny a diolch I ta pwy sy'n cyfieithu drosto ni. Diolch yn fawr iawn. Mi oedd llynau yn flwyddyn heriol I ni fel bwrdd iechyd. A nid yr unig rhifau ar bapur yw'r adroddiad hwn, y diffygion, yr heriau, ond maen nhw'n cynrychioli pobl go iawn. Bywydau go iawn, goblygiadau go iawn. Nid yn unig cyfri'r arian yw'n gwaith ni, ond adeiladu dyfodol sy'n gweithio i'r cleifion a'r cymunedau trwy waith caled ein cydweithwyr, ein gwirfoddolwyr a'n gofalwyr. Mae yna lwybr anodd o'n blaenau. Does na ddim llwybr sathredig, na llwybr tarw gyda ni ddilyn, bydd rhaid ni dorri cwys newydd ein hunain I wella yn sefyllfa ariannol. Ond nid er gweitha'n heriau, ond o achos yr rheini. A ni wedi dechrau ar y gwaith hynny. Cymrodd y bwrdd nifer o benderfyniadau anodd heddi. Nid o achos cyllid, ond o achos yn bod i'n barod I fynd i'r afel ar heriau staffio sydd wedi bod yn gwynebu'r bwrdd ers oesodd. Mae hynny'n dangos yn bod ni'n barod I ddechrau gwynebu'r heriau tymor byr sydd gyda ni a'r heriau tymor hir sy'n effeithio ar ein gwasanaethau. Fi'n falch o gyhoeddi wrth edrych nôl ar llynau bod barn yr archwiliwr cyffredinol ar ein cyfrifon yn gadarnhaol. Maen nhw'n glir, maen nhw'n deg, maen nhw'n dryloiw. Ond gadewch ni fod yn onest, cydymffurfiaeth yw'r lleiafswm gallwn ni ddisgwyl. Dim paso prawf yw ond gosod safon, a'n gosod ni ar ben y ffordd, a mae'r ffordd hynny eto'n bell. A'r barn hynna sy'n gymwysedig ar reoleuddra, dyna un o goblygiadau gorwariant, a mae angen I ni fynd wrth raidd hynna dros y blynyddoedd nesaf. Oedd yn diffyg llynau yn 66 miliwn o bunnoedd. Oedd hynny'n ddifrifol. A'r ffaith I fod 7 miliwn yn wath na'r flwyddyn cynt yn golygu un peth, mae angen I ni weithredu. Llynau, bydd y chreuon I wneud hynny, yn arbennig I lehain dibyniaeth ni ar nysus o asiantaethau. A dyna oedd stori ail hanner y llynau, addasu, dysgu, a dod o hyd I ffyrdd newydd o symud ymlaen. Gyda gwariant o 1.3 biliwn o bunnoedd ar wasanaethau, I ni gwneud gwahaniaeth mewn ffyrdd na all ffigyrau ar ei pennau hunain I gofnodi. A'r gwaith nawr yw ymestyn bob adnodd sydd gyda ni i'r eitha a chreu gwerth yn ein gwasanaethau. A mae'r gwaith hynny'n parhau mwyn cael bwlch rhwng ein gwariant na 1.3 biliwn a'n incwm o'r llywodraeth o 1.2 biliwn o bunnoedd ynghyd â 74 miliwn o bunnoedd o incwm arall. Nawr mae gyda ni llwyddiannau i'w dathlu hefyd a heriau i'w gwynebu. Yn gyntaf, y pethau cadarnhaol. Gwariant cyfalaf hyd yn oed o fewn y terfynau. Talu credydwyr. I ni wedi taro'r nod o dalu 95% o'n credydwyr o fewn 10 diwrnod ar hugain. Mae hynny'n ddisgyblaeth ariannol gallwn ni fod yn falch ohoni. Ond dyma'r her gwirioneddol, 65.8 miliwn o bunnoedd mewn gorwario refeniw. Mae rhaid I fynd i'r afel a hynny mewn ffordd mwy arloesol, a bydd hyn yn brawf ar ein creadigrwydd a'n gwydnwch. Na I frysio dros y sleid yma i'r nesaf mwyn cael edrych mlaen, ond dyma'n fyr lle oedd yn gwariant ni y llynau. Nawr, mae'r diffyg ariannol na 65.8 miliwn o bunnoedd yn trosi I ddiffyg sylfaenol o 96.4 miliwn. Dyna'r gwaddol o llynedd I lenni. Mae'r diffyg na yn ganlyniad uniongyrchol o gostau'n gweithlu dros dro, o pwysau gwlau acute a o'r galwadau clinigol di-dor ar ein gwasanaethau ni. ond arwydd i'r diffyg mawr ffyrdd sydd angen i ni newid. Mae'r Bwrdd Iechyd wedi delio'r her yma mewn ffordd ymatebol i ryw raddau hyd hyn, ac yn gynyddol erbyn hyn yn rhagweithiol. Mae angen i ni achub ar y cyfle nawr i adeiladu ar y momentum sydd gyda ni, i ddelio ar newid sydd angen. Ond gallwn ni ddim gwella'n ariannol heb wella'n ansawdd, gwella'n perfformiad a gwella yn canlyniadau. Mae'r diffyg sylfaenol yna hefyd yn adlewyrchiad o'r gwastraff sydd gyda ni yn ein gwasanaethau. A mae sôn am wastraff yn rhywbeth anghysurus i'w wneud, ond gwastraff yw fod yn orddibynnol ar staff dros dro. Gwastraffus yw ei bod cleifion yn gorfod aros am ormod o amser yn yn ysbytau achos bod yna ddiffyg gwasanaethau yn y gymuned. Mae disgwyliadau Llywodraeth Cymru yn eitha clir, a mae'r disgwyliadau hynny yn glir i ni hefyd. Ni'n mynd i yrru effeithlonrwydd fel eriod o'r blaen, ni'n mynd i nodi gwastraff, symleiddio gweithrediadau a sicrhau fod bob pint yn cael ei wario yn fusoddiad mewn gofal cleifion. Nid dim ond cyllideb yw yn rhaglen cyfalaf. Mae hwn yn weledigaeth i ryw raddau yn ein dyfodol, anwaddol i'r dyfodol. Yn gwaith ar gydymffurfiaeth diogelwch tân, mae hynny'n ymwneud â sicrhau bod yn ysbytau ni'n ddiogel i bawb sy'n cerdded trwy'n drysau. Offer delweddu newydd i sicrhau fod gwell gwasanaethau diagnostig gyda ni yn cleifion. Gwaith datgarboneiddio ac isadeiledd i sicrhau gwell adeiladau sy'n delio yn heriau nawr ac i'r dyfodol. Enghreifftiau'n unig yw'r rhain, dyw'r gyllideb ddim yn ddigonol, dyw e byth yn ddigonol ar gyfer yn anghenion, ond mae'n gychwyn. Sefydlogi yw'r galw am eleni, wrth edrych mlaen i'r flwyddyn sydd ohoni, a drychrau mynd i'r afel ar heriau sydd gyda ni. Fi'n falch gweud bod ni wedi dysgu o'r llynau ac wedi dangos gwelliannau yn barod leni. Dros y blwyddyn hyn, ni wedi canolbwyntio ar staffio dros dro, yn benna, a dechrau lleihau'r galw ar ein gwlau acute. Wrth edrych mlaen, bydd angen i ni ganolbwyntio ar parhau gyda'r gwaith o ddiwygion gweithlu, ymestyn rôl systemau digidol, atalaf iechyd, yn gynyddol buddsoddi yn y gymuned, mwyn creu gwerth ar draws llwybrau iechyd. Cadeirydd, ni'n dim mawr ar draws Hywel Dda, yn ogystal â'n cydweithwyr ar draws iechyd a gofal, hoffwn achub ar y cyfle i ddiolch i'n cydweithwyr newydd sydd wedi dod a'n falch gweld ychydig ohonyn nhw gyda ni heddi. Y cydweithwyr ar draws iechyd a gofal, yn gwirfoddolwyr, yn cleifion, a'i gofalwyr nhw a'r cyhoedd am eu cefnogaeth. Diolch yn fawr. A draw i Phil. Diolch.
Pnawn da, pawb. I'm Phil Clore. I'm the Interim Chief Executive of the Health Board. Thank you, diolch yn fawr am ddod. Thank you for those who are listening online. This is a look back to last year, which seems a bit strange in a way because we're already halfway through this year. So what I'll try and do is talk about last year and give a bit of an insight into where we are this year. So the first slide is about us. So this picture gives a sense of what our health board boundary is. We cover Carmarthenshire, Ceredigion and Pembrokeshire. And in the area, there are 384,000 people who rely on us every day for their health and healthcare needs, which is a sobering fact for me every day as I go into work. And it's not even that, I suppose, that we aren't an island. Around us are we provide services for South Gwynedd, for North West Powys, and between ourselves and Swansea, there is a lot of cross-border activity. So some of our public access services in Swansea, some of Swansea's public access services with us. So our collaborations with those neighbouring health boards are really critical. And we provide healthcare across a variety of settings. So it's not just the 4 hospitals. It's not even just the community hospitals, the GP surgeries, the opticians, the pharmacists, but it's also in people's homes. And we aren't just about healthcare, we're also about improving health and well-being for our population, not on our own, working with our partners. So this picture here, so we thought the 384,000 number is sobering, but we have over 13,000 staff, or at least we did last year. That's the number for last year, working for us, also looking to us for leadership. In that picture, close friend and colleague of mine, George Elton, in the middle, who sadly died recently, only in the last month or so. He was life and soul of that department. That's the same-day emergency care staff, all smiling there at Glangwili. So really, really sadly missed, and he was absolutely instrumental in setting up that service in Glangwili. So this slide tells us, gives our what is, I think, quite an inspiring mission for us. So together we are building kind and healthy places to live and work in Mid and West Wales. We can't do that on our own. Keep reminding myself that actually all of the public sector, all the third sector, but also working with our communities is absolutely key to making this real. It's not just an NHS endeavour, but these are our 6 strategic objectives. The first 3 you'll see are about our staff. The next one is about improving health and well-being. The 5th one is about healthcare services. And the last one is about sustainable use of our resources. And all, I think, are important as we go forwards. I think also they've been in place for some time. So I know as a board we're considering, given the learning from COVID, perhaps there's a moment just to reflect and refresh those objectives in the coming year. So now we're going back to last year's performance in planned care. So we made some significant strides. In fact, we overachieved on what our ambition was last year in terms of our planned care performance. We reduced our waiting lists for people waiting over 3 years and 2 years for a planned procedure. Now, we were pleased to improve on what our ambition was, but clearly that's such a long time for people to wait. And we have to remind ourselves that every day waiting with the uncertainty and the symptoms is significant for people out there. So I'm pleased to say this year we eliminated and cleared all of our 4-year waits, and now we've eliminated and cleared all of our 3-year waits by the end of August this year. So we're now working hard on clearing nearly all of the 104-week, the 2-year waits, by the end of March. And of course, we won't want to stop there. We'll want to go further. We do have a waiting list support service, which has really helped people. I think access, help and support, direction, when they're uncertain about what's happening to them on that waiting list. And I think that's a really good introduction of support for our population. So the next slide is diagnosis and therapies, and I think our allied health professionals, as we're calling them, and our health scientists have a huge role to offer going forwards, particularly as we move our services to a less medicalised approach and a more of a community and primary care based approach. Having said that, our waiting times at the moment, and certainly last year, to see a therapist or an allied health professional are too long. Some of our waits for diagnostics are too long, and that's something we're really trying to tackle. And we've got a new director of allied health professionals, James Severs, who I know is working on that every day. Urgent and emergency care tends to define how our whole system works. So if we struggle in emergency and urgent care, patients tend to end up flowing into areas where we would normally look after people for planned care operations. So this is absolutely key and fundamental for us. And sometimes it's easy to look at the A&E performance and think it's the A&E that's the issue. But actually it's the whole system that impacts on whether our urgent and emergency care, whether our A&E works. So whether people have the opportunity to see their GP or take advice online or are supported to maintain their own health and well-being is really key for us, because all of that will reduce the amount of need for GP appointments or coming to A&E. We've seen some real improvements this year at Withybush Hospital, a clinically led process, as we heard earlier. We saw for 8 days in a row, we saw ambulance handovers only taking about 15 minutes, which is actually the target. So Withybush have done, and the Pembrokeshire system have done something pretty special in the last 3 or 4 months. Having said that, they've been building up to that over the last couple of years, and we need to spread that work across all of our system. It's also starting to tackle our delayed transfers of care, but we do have a significant number of our beds occupied by people who don't want to be there and don't really need to be there if there was another option open to them. And that's a real area of our focus, of course, with our local authority colleagues and third sector colleagues. So, on to cancer care, which is a real priority for Wales and a priority for us. We've seen increased numbers of referrals for cancer, like other health boards across Wales, as we have an ageing population. That is to be expected. Last year, we saw our backlog reduce from about 481 patients to 409 patients throughout the year. We saw not hit the Welsh Government target, which is 80% of people treated in 62 days. We got to 60% at the end of last year. We found it really difficult to sustain that performance, but we've set a really ambitious target for this year, and it does rely on every bit of the system working, including our diagnostics. This is Gina Beard, who we're really proud of, who won one of the King's Honours this year. So really proud of her and all the work that she's done over many years, her great contribution there. Hope she's listening. So I'll send her a copy. So on mental health, I think we're working to make sure that we get the profile of mental health services right at board. So we don't just hear about unscheduled care and planned care. And we do well on some of our processes. We do meet the target for adults and children being seen with a mental health problem within 28 days, which doesn't happen everywhere in Wales. So that's something that we consistently do in Health Art, and we've seen improvements in access to psychological support, although a long way to go to meet the Welsh Government target. And whilst we're working on our neurodevelopment services, there are long waits, and we talked about that at board earlier, that the waits are too long for people and the impact on the families and the children. And so that's something we know we want to give some focus to this year with Welsh Government. So on to patient experience. We last year, in the last 12 months, 90% of people, we've hit the 90% target of patients who report that their experience has been excellent or very good. We've seen some really good performance in patient experience in our emergency departments and our same-day emergency care departments, which is great. And we have the Civica system, which I encourage any of you listening, anyone who interacts with services, to fill in. It's really simple. I even did it myself the other day. So really simple to use, and we do listen to that feedback. And there's opportunities to give us feedbacks about how things that we could improve when you've not had such a good experience, and also an opportunity to give compliments to our staff, which are really well received and boost their morale. We do have, just before I move on, we do have some challenges around our estate, though, I would say, in delivering patient experience. And I suppose I'd want to thank the staff and the public who go to Withybush for their forbearance in all the changes we've had to make around the rack issue with all the poles that people have had to walk past. I know it doesn't look like the best environment. It's been really challenging for staff, but impressive what they've been able to achieve despite that. So for infection prevention and control, we did last year achieve a 10% reduction in our Clostridium cases last year, which I think is a big achievement for us. But traditionally, we've had a high level of cases. So whilst we've had a 10% reduction, we know we've got to go a lot further. The same goes for E. coli, which I think some of this will come from our communities. It's not just in hospitals, but again, infection prevention and control tends to mean if people get infections, then they tend to stay longer in hospital. So it's a real issue for people. And we're working on this. We've changed our cleaning products. We've done a whole load of education for staff. We're trying to promote it, trying to get proper control over antibiotic uses. All of these things should help us reduce our rates. And we're nearly there, you'll be pleased to know. So we're on to workforce. And so sickness rates. Last year we had our rates reduced. They were somewhere around 6.15 and 6.43%. We've heard today they're at 6.6%. So it's stubborn, actually, this. And a lot of it is, as we heard earlier, is around anxiety and stress. So we've put a big amount of support into that, which I know Lisa and the team are working on. And then the next slide is about recruitment. And we've had some success here. And you can see some smiling faces. Some you'll recognise maybe in the room. But look, we've recruited 97 nurses from abroad, from overseas. And you're going to hear from some of them later, which is going to be much more interesting than hearing from me. But that which is exciting. So thanks for joining us. I think the other thing, we've carried on our work around agency, on agency nursing and reduction in agency nursing. And as you know, we've seen significant reductions this year, which was bound to be supporting improvements in quality and safety of care. And this slide is about our strategy. So we agreed our strategy back in 2018. The founding principles of that, a move to a more social model of health and well-being with our partners and our communities, and a real focus on primary and community care. Those things, I think, are going to be enduring. We're going to have to really push on that in the coming years. Of course, we haven't progressed the business case as quickly as we'd anticipated, but we're still in discussion with Welsh Government about that. We're also working on our clinical services plan, which looks at 9 clinical services areas where there are serious fragilities in those services, and we'll be bringing a paper to board in November. This process started back in 2023. So you will see some significant changes there, I suspect, in the future. Paediatric services consultation, we completed that last year, and that went to board, and we've been implementing that over the intervening months. And here you can see our work with partners, and today we presented some of the culmination of that around the estate, some of the work around Pentre Owl we talked about today. There's the work at Cross Hands, but there's other fundamental work around services that is really key to us. So when you look around our patch, when I was talking about the unscheduled care system, the connection we have with the local authority and third sector in Eastgate, in Llanelli, avoiding admissions, getting people home much more quickly than they would normally get home. The work in Porth Preseli in Pembrokeshire with our local authority and third sector, and Porth Gofal in Ceredigion. are all absolutely crucial to our work around unscheduled care. So there's a lot of brief on partners, but I'm not going to go just read out all the partners that we work with. So I'm going to move on to our state. So here you have a picture of at least one person you recognise, Lee Davis, our Director of Strategy and Planning. And this is our solar farm, which I think we're really proud of. So we are trying to play our part in decarbonisation and green energy. And this is on the St David's Park site. But you'll see across many of our sites now, there are gardens which promote biodiversity, but are also really great for staff well-being, a great place for people to go out and walk in, and we encourage that in people's breaks. We do, though, have some really significant challenges around our estate. A lot of it is ageing and very costly to maintain, and and with the new facilities like Cardigan Integrated Healthcare Centre or Aberaeron, we're starting to see the real divergence between the newer estate and the older estate, and recognise just how tricky it is for staff to work in that estate, but also to maintain a really good patient experience. So, moving on. So, promoting the Hyber Gymraeg. So, this is something important. I know Hugh did his presentation in Welsh. I'm not adept at Welsh enough to do this all in Welsh. But dwi'n dysgu Cymraeg. Mae'n anodd I fi dysgu Cymraeg a siarad Cymraeg. So I find it very difficult, but I'm trying to learn. And, we're really trying to promote a health board where the Welsh language and English language are treated equally. I know we've got a bit of a way to go on that, but that's what we're trying to do. And one of the things that we have done is we brought in a tutor who I've met, who is really welcoming to those like me who struggle to get over that hurdle of just opening up and going for it. So he's fabulous, and I don't think he's given up on me yet. So you'll be the judge. But we were present at the Eisteddfod. That was a great opportunity for us to meet Welsh speakers and be inspired by and think of other ways to get our people speaking Welsh. So, and we encourage that, and hopefully for our patients, they do have the opportunity to speak to staff in Welsh. We're conscious that our population, a large percentage of people speak Welsh, and therefore a large percentage of our staff speak Welsh. So now we're on to staff achievement, staff awards. Now again, I've got a very long list of them, so I won't go through them all. Gina Beard, I've mentioned. Mike Bartlett won a King's, was recognised in the King's New Year Honours for medical education. We've also won a whole range of awards around maternity service, smoking cessation, nursing teams, estates. Sandra Miles, professional practice development lead nurse, was named in the Chief Nursing Officer Excellence Award winner. We had our rookie nurses on the telly, if you remember them last year. They did get on to some really high-profile couches, I seem to remember. So that was really exciting. It's great to see it, and they were so enthusiastic. And we're constantly going around giving long service awards and achievement awards, which is always a fun bit of the day. So now looking ahead, last slide, I think, or nearly last slide. So look, I suppose this is looking ahead from March last year, and we couldn't produce an IMTP this year, an integrated medium-term plan, because which is a 3-year plan, which is our statutory duty, because we couldn't see a way to breaking even when we started the year. But we did set what was for us an ambitious annual plan, which I know we're all committed to deliver this year as a foundation for us then moving towards our target control total and a future IMTP. In the future, so we've got to tackle our financial sustainability, but we do need to, as we were saying earlier, get more strategic about our challenges, because at the moment it feels like we are tackling the operational issues one after the other. So I think that'll be a real challenge for us, and we're already in the process of developing our plan for next year and beyond. So thank you very much for listening. Hope you'll continue with us on this journey. And there is a video, I think, after me, if I've remembered rightly, which Owen's going to press play.
Our teams at Hywel Dda all contribute to the NHS care we provide our local communities in Carmarthenshire, Ceredigion, Pembrokeshire and Borders.
I'm part of the midwifery team that's helped deliver 2,505 babies in the past year.
I am part of the waiting list support service team, helping patients while they wait for treatment in a team that has approximately 15,000 contacts a year.
I'm part of the cybersecurity team within Digital Services that has protected our NHS against cyber attacks.
I work as part of the team that helped to provide wellbeing support to staff, with over 500 staff receiving support.
We are part of the catering team that work for the Hywel Dda Health Board that are responsible for feeding over 800,000 staff and patients in the course of the last calendar year.
Thank you. Goodbye.
I'm part of the patient experience team that reviewed over 62,000 points of feedback in order to enhance the experience of our patients and their families.
I work as part of a team that provides occupational therapy for a variety of physical and mental health conditions. We do this within patients' own homes.
I'm part of the service that has reduced the waiting time for mental health referrals to under 28 days, smashing national targets.
I am part of a team that delivers treatment to around 3,500 cancer patients each year in Hywel Dda.
I'm part of a team that has taken around 195,000 blood tests over the year across our health board, supporting diagnosis, surveillance and treatment of our patients.
I work as part of a team that manages policies and procedures and guidelines within the health board. This ensures our services meet a high standard for our patients, staff and communities.
And together we are Team Hywel Dda.
It's me. So I think we should have just played that rather than listen to me, but that was absolutely fabulous, wasn't it? So I'm going to hand back over to our chair.
Thank you, Bill. Great, okay. Before we move to the next section, are there any questions? I hasten to add I'm not going to answer them, but I will find somebody who will. Yes, please. Yes, please. Hello. Great question. I'm going to ask Phil, the Chief Executive, to address your issues.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's got to go online. Thank you for coming as well. Really appreciate it, because I know it's a bit of a trek over. So look, I realised that you know how loved that service is in Llanelli and how much concern they will be We, as you will hopefully have heard earlier, we considered this in a lot of detail earlier with our clinicians, and there was real concern about the safety of the service because we're not able to recruit doctors to support the unit. So we're changing it temporarily on safety grounds. That was the decision earlier. In terms of the decision, it was for a 6-month period, during which time we know we need to do a lot of information sharing to the public to support people to know where they need to go, who they need to phone when, and where they need to go, depending on what problem they've got. But also in that 6-month period, we've committed to work with stakeholders, representatives of the public, representatives of Swansea Bay University Health Board, to consider a variety of options going forward. It doesn't mean that, so the minor injuries unit is still going to be open between 8 and 8 during that period. And the acute medical unit, which deals with people who've got serious medical emergencies like strokes and heart attacks, things like that, that will still be open. In fact, we do have a really strong unit there with really really high class, top quality doctors there. It's just the idea of the nurses looking after patients over the night at the moment, because of the patients who tend to present overnight, it's beyond the skills and experience of even the emergency nurse practitioners that we have within the unit. So we've got to look at a new model, because at the moment those patients won't get the care they need, and also for the staff it's not safe for them. So we've had to take action because on the basis of the fact that we've had to listen to staff, clinicians about their concerns, and also Health Inspectorate Wales. But I hope that in part answers your question. I'm sure it won't completely satisfy you, but hopefully the work over this next 6 months will be able to come up with something that's a sustainable model. Yep.
Oh, wow. Just to clarify, you've already got rid of the accident and emergency situation. You have an alternative in place, which sounds pretty good. But if it wasn't for the accident and emergency, I wouldn't be here. It was a few years ago. I had a heart attack. I went over in the middle of the night. If I'd waited for an ambulance or asked my children to take me over, I wouldn't be here. I said to the young man, the young junior doctor, I said, look, do something for me. I want to go home. I don't want to have breakfast with my wife, who was in hospital at the time. That's the last thing I remember. I woke up and there were about 6 or 7 people around me. I said, what the... I apologise for my language, but as I say, that was an experience. And if it wasn't for the accident and the emergency, or any medical staff at that particular time in that extremity, I mean, any episode, any medical episode or accident is time sensitive. Mm-hmm. And that's what we've got to consider.
Yeah, and I think you do raise a good point. I mean, I used to be a chest consultant in Llanelli, so I used to be one of the consultants there. So I know, the amount of medical care we provide there is very significant even now, and I don't think we need an accident and emergency service there to provide the care that you just described. So what the consultant said, who came to board earlier, was that they're working with Welsh Ambulance Service and working with other partners to work out how people in your situation would be able to get straight into that acute medical unit. At the moment, that requires people to call 111 or call an ambulance. I mean, if it was chest pain, then you need to call an ambulance. So we're working on how because what we wouldn't want to do, ideally, is for someone in the situation you've just described to have to go anywhere else apart from Llanelli. So that is definitely the plan, but we don't need an A&E to make that happen.
Thank you for your question. Just for people who are online who may not have heard the question in the first place, it was about the concern, a concern expressed with the decision of the board this morning to close for a temporary 6-month period the night service at the MIU. So I think, thank you very much for the question. I hope we've addressed some of your concerns. We offer an assurance we will find a solution in this place, and well done to your dad. So
Yeah.
He looks in good health. Great. Great. Okay. Any other questions or observations anybody would like to make? No? Okay, you can sit down again, Chief Executive. I'll take us to the next session. So it's now my pleasure to welcome Alison Thomas, Sitara Kunjamal, Sonia Jose and Candice Winter Lawson to the stage to share their experiences with us. I won't steal their thunder, but I'd like to thank you all for joining us today, and to everybody that choosing to work within Hywel Dda. Alison, over to you.
With your hair. Take a seat, girls. Okay. Right. Okay. Can you reach? Sit down. Can you reach?
That's fine, no problem. No, I'm fine.
Yeah, they are a bit, aren't they? Thank you. There you are. Sit yourself down.
There you go. Sorry.
We cause chaos whatever we go, don't we? Okay, sit yourselves down. Right, well, it's good evening now, isn't it? Good evening, everyone, and thank you for inviting us to share our stories with you today. I'm Alison Thomas. I'm the Grow Your Own Manager for the Health Board, and over the last 2.5 years, I've had the enormous pleasure of leading the overseas training and pastoral care team here in Hywel Dda under the guidance of Ruth Bowman, the Clinical Education Manager, who'd only been in post 8 weeks when the project started. To date, we have welcomed 197 nurses in phase 1 and 2 of the project, and a further 62 in phase 3. 40 of the 62 have passed their OSCE exams, with a further sitting on October the 15th. Before the project is complete, a further 22 will land on the 17th of October, and the final cohort 17, will land on the 28th of November and sit their exams by the end of January. By the end of the project, we've welcomed almost 300 nurses across the Hywel Dda patch. Here with me, I have 3 willing volunteers who want to share their stories with you of leaving their home countries and their families and coming here to Hywel Dda. You will hear about them studying for their OSCE exams, finding their first home and settling into their wards and departments. This isn't about me, although I do love to show off. This is about them. So firstly, Sitara will speak, followed by Sonia, and then lastly, Candice. So please welcome Sitara. Do you want to go that way, that side?
Good evening, everyone. Myself, Cyffredinol Kunjamal. I am from cohort 2, the second group of international nurses arrived in UK. So we landed on June 2022, 2 years now. And I am from India, state of Kerala, and my actual places in Kerala is Alappuzha. I want to say my place name here. I was so excited for that. And the place is known very famous for backwaters and houseboats. Maybe you could have seen in pictures of tourism, Kerala tourism. And I am so grateful for this opportunity to share my journey in past 2 years in Hywel Dda. It's been an incredible experience filled with many rewarding moments, challenges, and professional growth. 2 years ago, June 2022, I embarked on a significant journey, leaving my home in India to pursue my career as a nurse in Hywel Dda. It was a mix of excitement, and nervousness as I stepped into a new country and a new healthcare system. However, what made this transition smoother was the incredible support from Havalda, which I received in last 2 years. And leaving my 5-year-old boy and family in India was tough for me, but remembering those days make me tearful still. But he was here in October 2022, and with my husband, and going to Johnstown School now, year 3. And he settled really well, and he got so many friends from here. Settling into a new environment made easier with support of OLNs, our overseas licensed nurses. Still, I remember those faces receiving us in Trinity accommodation. And accommodation in Trinity was bringing back the memories of our university days. It was a kind of friendship and cooking together, enjoying our time together away from that parenting role. So quite enjoyed, and I missed my kids. And they were always there to guide us, answer our questions, and help us navigate through the initial challenges which adapting to a new healthcare system and a new environment. They were always there to help us, the OLNs. And one of the big milestones was preparing for and passing the OSCE exam, a crucial step in our journey as international nurses. The support and encouragement of OSCE training team were invaluable. It was about understanding the standards of nursing care in UK and feeling confident in our skills. Walking into the OSCE exam room, welcomed by mannequins that never blink, and real people pretending to be sick, and examiners who have mastered the art of expressionless staring. And it was a roller coaster of self-doubt, adrenaline rush, and feeling of, oh my God, where am I now? What I'm going to do here? But if we can survive an OSCE, we can survive anything in life. So it was unbelievable for me to pass the OSCE exam for the first time successfully. Welcome to Wales, where we have 4 seasons in a day, sometimes before we even have had our breakfast. The drizzle and the sunshine keep everything lush and green. So grab your coat, your sunscreen, and probably a pair of wellies, just in case. So Croeso y Gymru, where the people are warm, even if the weather is not. Joining Havalda was in Merlin Ward. So I'm from Merlin Ward, GGH, and currently I'm seconded as OSCE trainer with clinical education team. But in Merlin Ward, we had a mentor with me. So it was the first cohorts and the initial international group of nurses who got pinned. I was the first one getting pinned in my ward. So it was a bit challenging, but they all really supported me. My manager and my mentor, everybody was there. It was equally supporting me, even the healthcare support workers. And we care head and neck patients there, and laryngectomy patients, tracheostomy patients, going through even post-op care, the first post-op day care after laryngectomy. And I started taking in charge shifts within a year, the end of my first year. And it was really with a good leadership skill. I had a good leadership skills and taking critical decision and managing patient care effectively. It was a wonderful experience taking in charge shifts. Stressful also, still. And September last year, one of the most proud moments of my journey was representing international nurses in Havalda conference, and standing in front of my audience, sharing our stories was an invaluable memory in my life. Joining as an OSCE trainer, again, I am privileged to support the international nurses as they begin their new journey. Being the trainer is like you are a ringmaster, where you got to act. Every situation is like, every station is like a new act, and the performers are slightly terrified. You got to play as patients, which deserve an Oscar sometimes, because sometimes we even throw a surprise symptom to make it a little spicy. And the feedback sessions are like, it is a balance of constructive criticism, and also like a motivational speech, where we have to say just, you can do this, only you can remember next time the red allergy band of the patient. And I would like to conclude by expressing my deepest gratitude to all my managers, especially Alison and OLNs, OSCE trainers, and all my colleagues so far in my ward for helping us to settle here, but also empowering to grow our career in Havalda.
So my friend Sitara, she told about the experience she have here, little bit the experience she have here, little bit the about the how we our new challenges when we come to UK the first time. So today I will tell what I experienced today. Still I have experiencing what the how the family is treating for us. So myself is Sonia Jose. I'm cohort for internationally educated nurse. Today is a special date in my life, 26th of September 2024, because the first day I came in London is the same day, 26 September 2022. So today I successfully completed 2 years in Wales in Havilda family. So I'm extremely happy today to come here and tell what I experienced in this family. So more like that, I would say I'm a member in Glangwili A&E. So the experience and the treat, what we experience along with Candice in Glangwili A&E is absolutely awesome. All the nurse managers, the band nurse managers, Sister Nerys, and our line manager, Sister Louise, is absolutely, what do I say, word? There is no word to say. Everybody is awesome in A&E. So the word I say, we work together and we treat everyone as normal. There is no disparity between anyone, any bands, any band 2 or band 4. We work together for the patient safety in A&E. It's the most thing I want to say along with Candice. And this is my experience still. I want to say my experience in Glangwili A&E. And before I would say, as Sitara told, that we faced so many challenges when I came here first day in here. But our good Ireland team, Jerlyn and Rachel, they're helping to settle in Havilda family. If we faces any problems or difficulties, we can easily message them or contact them, so they will find a solution for us. And I would say Alison, she's wonderful. And Oski team, she helps every time. She's very lovely, awesome. We can approach Alison all the time. It's like she's doing a great job in Oski team. Okay, yeah, that's it. And unfortunately, I passed my OSCE in second time only. So I would say still OSCE is very easy to fail. So we want to make some plan for that one still, I thought, because the first time I passed 9 out of 10 stations. So I sat for second time, so I successfully completed OSCE in second time. So, and that's it, my OSCE exam. So I still can remember my OSCE exam things. Okay, it was absolutely like nervous. So I want to say they want to make some changes in OSCE. And I make a good career progression in my life. Recently, I got a new job role in Glangwili A&E. I moved to band 6 in Glangwili A&E. I started in July 6th. July 1st is the first day of my band 6. So I really enjoy my junior sister role in Glangwili A&E. But it is really challenging nowadays. Like as our chair told us, ambulance in the more waiting time in the waiting area outside. So it's getting very challenging nowadays. So it is not easy as in earlier nowadays. So because we have got a lot of pressure from everywhere and we are more concerned about the patient safety. We work together for the maximum patient safety and our staff well-being. So we need to look after as a nurse in charge or sometimes navigator. So my patient is my priority all the time nowadays. So I'm thankful for God as well and the Havilda family for giving me opportunity to a nurse in Havilda. And they treat me like as giving all I need, and now I am doing ILM 3 course in Pembrokeshire College as well. I started already, so still I'm looking forward to my career progression. I still want to do an MSc in education later on, so I would prefer teaching as well. So next year probably I would prefer to join an MSc course in education. So I thank everyone, especially Alison. She gave me an opportunity to come here, tell me my experience in the family. So thank you everyone to listening me today. Okay, thank you.
Sister Sonia just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? It's lovely. Thank you so much. And lastly, please welcome Candice.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Alison. I'd like to say thank you to Alison and to God for giving me this opportunity to be in front of you guys here this afternoon. So, hello, everyone. I am Candice, a registered nurse attached to the Accident and Emergency Department at the Glanville Hospital. I arrived to the UK from the most southern island in the Caribbean known as the beautiful Trinidad and Tobago. It's the Caribbean. As a member of Cohort 7, I entered on the 23rd of January 2023. If you all can remember last year, how cool it was in January. I remember the day I left my country. It was a bright and sunny afternoon. Sunny. 33 degrees Celsius. It was a sad and exciting day for me. I left my 2 kids, my husband, my mom, and my extended family in tears as I embarked on a 9-hour plane ride to get to the UK. Everyone was so scared for me to be on my own, but I tried to remain positive and confident. I landed at the Heathrow Airport at 5 a.m. the following morning. I was advised to dress warmly. However, nothing could have prepared me for the first step off that plane. As I stood on the steps, I felt my body was becoming numb from the coolness. When I breathed, I swear I saw my breath turning into a breath of ice. I remember thinking to myself, what have I done? No amount of clothing could have helped me at this time. There was so much fog in front of me. I had to use my hands to find my way. I remember wondering to myself if I can go back on the flight and ask the pilot to take me back home. Never ever before have I ever experienced this. I was in such disbelief. The weather was totally opposite to what I was accustomed to. We only have sun 364 days for the year and rain 1 day. Everyone always asked me, why Wales? It was a lengthy but worthy decision between my family and I. It was noted through research as the friendliest country in the UK. And that I have come to see and believe. As the days passed, I was placed in the arms. Please note I said arms, because it felt like a warm embrace from a team of caring, well-organized, efficient, and beautiful ladies, my OLNs. They made us feel so welcome, took care of me like if I was a part of their families. I felt so safe. Thank you to these lovely ladies. I had the experience of the best husky trainers in the whole of the UK. A team which was led by a manager whom wears many hats. Never forgets anything. She always remembers everything. She never forgets anything and sees a world of solution, especially when placed with problems around her. Her mentality is always, how can we outcreate this problem? Every time she have a problem, she solution. Thank God, I have succeeded on my first attempt. Their tremendous support, love, and compassion made me feel so confident. Thank you to Alison and the team. I honestly admit I had the most challenging experience of trying to obtain a home here, which made me extremely unhappy. Every time I took a viewing, the painful rejection was like a recurring heartache. I felt so sad, lonely, and beaten because I know my kids was depending on me. I even questioned if I should continue on this dream because I missed them tremendously. The heartache was unbearable until one day I told my colleagues in A&E about my challenges. Everyone rallied around me and tried their best to assist me. The A&E reception team every day relentlessly assisted until one day we accomplished the almost impossible task. They located my first home, the Accident and Emergency Department. I still live in that home. Words cannot express my gratitude. Truly an amazing team. I love them so much. I believe the A&E is the heart of the hospital. And you all know how important your heart is. I believe that I must compliment my A&E lead, Sister Neris, her team, and all my colleagues for the amazing teamwork and the love they have given to me. Thank you to A&E. I was given the opportunity to speak at the Hawaldar Nursing Conference in 2023, which I was able to share my journey as an international nurse to my fellow colleagues by Alison, which I'm so grateful for. On the 10th of October 2023, I received a phone call from my clinical education manager, Ruth Bowen, informing me I was nominated to attend a ball at the Buckingham Palace to meet the King. I cried upon hearing her words. I was in total disbelief that I, a lonely girl from a tiny country, it's like a dot, tiny country in the Caribbean, could be chosen for such an honor. An opportunity offered to me I could not even imagine in my wildest dream. I remember thinking about all the nights I cried, thinking my UK dream would not come true. The joy that filled me made me forget I was even ever sad at all. I attended a ball on the 14th of November 2023 at the Buckingham Palace, where I met His Majesty the King. I spoke to him. I shook his hand. What a firm grip he has. Big hands. I didn't want to wash my hands after that, but being a nurse, but thank you to Hawaldar for the greatest moment in my career and the opportunity of a lifetime. Honestly, thank you, everyone. I am now on a secondment as an OSCE trainer where I can share my knowledge and experience with other international nurses as myself, because I know firsthand how important the OSCE exam is to us international nurses. This is our life. It's the most important step in us settling in our new country, in our new home, and in our new roles as UK RNs. So I'm grateful for this opportunity also. Thank you, Alison. My family and I are comfortably residing together, and most importantly, my children are happily engaged at school. My daughter recently made her first communion at the St. Mary's Church. My husband is currently training with the Carmarthen Fire Service to become a firefighter. My son is currently doing his A-levels at Kiwi High. I am so grateful for the amazing opportunities this health board and the community, the people here, has allowed us. Amazing people. Leaving my country as a qualified head nurse within the Accident and Emergency Department, additionally qualified in trauma and emergency nursing, with 13 years of experience as a registered nurse, I have settled into my role as a UK RN. It has been so different for me, but I embrace the challenge. There is so much to learn. My wish is to one day become advanced nurse practitioner under the health board. I am really happy to be a part of the Hawaldar Health Board. You have developed a secret weapon of the most outstanding, excellent, caring, and compassionate team to work with the international nurses. Well done, guys. Words from great Eleanor Roosevelt. Sometimes people come into your life for a moment, a day, or a lifetime. It matters not the time they spent with you, but how they impact your life in that time. Because only beautiful people leave footprints in your heart. And words from the great Mahatma Gandhi, the greatness of humanity is not in being human, but in being humane. Thanks to everyone for the footprints you have left on my heart. Thank you.
I think I'm speechless, and that doesn't happen very often. I can see Sharon sitting there with her tears. Oh, thank you, ladies. Honestly, you've done me proud. I believe we've got time for some questions, that you want to ask. Does anybody want to ask anything of our ladies? Can we catch a breath? It's hard, isn't it?
Thank you so much for those, inspiring sharing your experiences, inspiring talks that you shared your experiences with us. And thank you for being here, for working for our communities and for everything you do. I'm Ardiana Gini, I'm the Director of Public Health with the Health Board. And I've met you, Sonia, I think last week or the week before at Glangwileni. It's 24 years this weekend gone that I came for the first time to the UK. And I do remember some of the challenges, though I did not have my own children leaving behind and then having to, so a lot easier. I just wonder, because of those additional challenges that you have compared to what I would have gone through those years ago, how can we, as a board, help you with maybe further integration in the communities where you live, to maybe provide you with a little bit more support in managing your professional development, your career progression, as well as that work-life balance, as you did all three explained, but I'm sure that all of our other internationally educated nurses will have some of those challenges. Thank you. Thanks for sharing what you've done so far.
Is this working? Who wants to answer? Because I know you've got plans.
That's a good, thank you for your question. That's a very good question. So, like in reference to our transition here, in reference to the home, finding the home, our team, the international team, has now developed, they help the students find homes now. So I think the transition is a little better with that, because you really need a home to start a life. In reference to our background, education-wise, we would really like the door to be open up for us to receive study education leaves, not leaves actually, but being able to access programs. We don't mind working and accessing programs to develop our skills and be equipped with the necessary things, skills and knowledge to become better and have leading roles in Hawalda. Because we do have loads of experience, but we want the opportunity to show what we can do also. Yeah.
Hey, thank you. I don't have questions for the three of you, but when I heard you speak, it reminded me of my own journey. I came here in 1974, exactly doing what you were doing, which was much more difficult for me because I didn't speak English at the time. So it took me a long time to kind of work out how to navigate in the hospitals. And but when I look back, and it was the friendliness of all of the individuals that I met at the time that has allowed me to be able to undertake this journey and to be who I am today. So thank you for sharing that journey. And I know how difficult it is to come here and present your stories, but I wanted to congratulate all three personally. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Neil, the chair of the Health Board. Thank you for your stories. They're truly humbling. I doubt many of us here would have made the journey that you've made, and it's fantastic to hear your journey and hear the sacrifice you've made to come and be part of the family and the team. In my head, I have this question like, they're not going to leave, are they? They're going to stay. So, and I suppose, because it feels to me, you've made a kind of big life choice to come and live here and set up your home and bring your children and to be here. I wonder whether it is becoming your long-term home, being in Wales, and whether there's anything we can do to continue that kind of relationship for you, as you know, to find that as joyous as possible.
Okay. So initially when we came, like we were the first initial cohorts, like from me, it was cohort 2, the initial groups. So now, as far as I joined the clinical education team, and I could feel the plans they make, the oil lens and the team, the clinical education team, oil lens, OSCE team, everybody is working really well to settle the new international. We are the part of the team, so we could experience how well they are planning ahead for our getting settled in in Havalda, and also in the wards, what all plans they are making, what all hard work they do. So I always appreciate that. Now I could see that very clearly being in the team. But about the long stay, anyway, I love Wales. I chose to come in Wales, so I think most of us do the same, because before coming here, I even Google Map and I would see even the satellite images of the town everywhere. It was like a dream to come and really see that. And it's like my place always, like lush and green. We always get rain there, Kerala. We always feel the same 3 climates. So I like this place and the people. When initially, because I'm always repeating that, because the initial stage and now the international nurses facing, there is a great difference, because initially we came here, it was like when we go out, we used to walk to Lidl, Tesco's, so we used to walk and we could hardly see some of the Indian nurses or Indian people in the road. So mostly we see was Welsh people, and they were really welcoming. They used to wish us good morning, are you okay? So that was all like feeling home. We were really depressed initially, first month and all, because leaving family and only you watching them video call. So it was kind of depressed, but when we see them welcoming us really well, that was feeling like home. And now we are really settling well here. It is only it's been 2 years. The time was flying, and I think most of us will choose to stay back anyway. We like the work you guys doing to help us settling here. We are happy about it. We are happy being in Havalda, I would say. Thank you.
It's us again. We just want to say, obviously, in awe of you leaving your countries, your homes, and coming to Wales. My dad and I, we lost our mum in April in Prince Philip Hospital. We just wanted to say that a number of nurses who were part of the team were international nurses, and they were just exceptional. The compassion, the care was, just second to none. There are no words, but we just wanted to, on behalf of you present, the other international nurses, just say thank you for coming and being part of the team.
Thank you very much. And we just want to say sorry for your loss.
Thank you. I waited a while. I had to compose myself. So it's wonderful to see you here today, and and seeing what you've achieved and what your ambition is for the future. And I'm delighted to hear that Andy's looking to go to do your advanced nurse practitioner, masters, ILM programs as well. So the opportunities are here in Havalda, and we just need to make sure that we help you to access those to progress your careers. And I know you've praised Alison, but I have to say, Alison, back in 2022, you were an estate agent, you were a removal person, and Gerlin and all the other overseas liaison nurses. And it's wonderful to see what we've achieved really in that time, and how successful you've been as well, especially with setting up the OSCE provision as well, which was completely from scratch. And our pastorate is one of the best pastorates as well, so that's really positive. So thank you for coming and sharing. We'll be having more conferences going forward, so I know where you are. And yeah, so yeah, well done. Looking forward.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think this one from Anne. Which one? Sorry. Yeah, I think Anne wanted to ask something.
Sorry, and thank you all for today. It was outstanding. My question is, do you have a network for yourselves outside of work? You know, do you have like a WhatsApp group, or so you keep in touch and support each other?
We have lots of WhatsApp groups actually.
Phones ping all day long.
Yeah, we all live near to the hospital. So we all now nearly more than hundreds. So we all are almost in Glanville, I'm saying. So we have a network of different groups. So there the problem is like husband and wife will be working and the kids go to school. So they don't have their grandmother, grandfather, all those relatives kind of help here. But if I am really, now I came here today and my husband left job at 4 o'clock. So we had to leave him near to our neighbor. Like we have lot of friends around, like the group, same groups, international groups. We all live nearby. So we all support each other with helping babysitting, everything. When we do go for exploring Wales like together on our off days. So we do spend time each other. It's really nice.
Well, just to add, I'm the only Caribbean girl here. So no, I don't have a WhatsApp group, but we all talk to each other when we see each other, but I'm not part of any WhatsApp group. But I have my family here, so I'm happy.
We've got a very active Malayalam society. They've just celebrated Onam. I know I went to the Carmarthen one. Lisa, you were in Aberystwyth. If you've ever got the chance to go, the food, the culture, the dance, it's a wonderful day. It really is. I'm hoping I can go again next year if they invite me. But it is, the Malayalam society, very active, particularly I think in Aberystwyth. They seem to be at the forefront of lots of things. But the Carmarthen one I think is equally as good, isn't it? Yeah. They have their own. In fact, some of our nurses are part of the committee that sort of put Onam Festival on. So, the first year, it was all sort of older doctors and things that were part of the celebrations. This year, it was all the nurses that have come in the last 2 years, with a smattering of other sort of people. It had completely changed. It was lovely, very nice. I'm so proud of them. I really am. Lisa.
Yes, thank you. Just so that I can see you all, really. So as a board, 2 years ago, we had a dream that we wanted to come up with an objective for our organisation to stabilise our nursing workforce, and that was to look at how we can recruit people from international countries. You are the second cohort, I think most of you have said, so thank you so much for making that leap at the time. Alison, for the challenges that we set to you, do you think we can have 100 nurses over a period of a year? Then can we have 200? Now can we have 70, but in a shorter period? You just make it happen. You are all now training and supporting new nurses that are joining us, so thank you so much for doing that, because it is all of your contributions that are making people feel at home and welcome and committed to staying and working with us. So just thank you all for making it happen.
I've had the best job in the world for the last 2 years. I really have. It's been wonderful. I think we could talk all night, couldn't we? I'm going to take you home. Lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. That was a truly fantastic end to the day. We've had a really great, challenging board meeting, but actually, you remind us all of the humanity and the humane way we need to treat each other inside the organisation. And I think, if anything, you're a testament to the bravery of this organisation wanting to bring you in, and then your ability. You met every expectation in terms of what we would want from an outstanding cohort of nurses. You are it. So a fantastic end to the day. So thank you. Just to close, thank you to everyone for joining us, those who are online, for those who came with questions and with ideas and thoughts and sharing their experiences, for patients more broadly, and for the communities that we work with, and for those 13,500 people who work every day inside this organisation to deliver the outstanding services we aspire to deliver to. Thank you very much indeed. Diolch yn fawr.